welcome to Whispers of the Night. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight, we'll take another quiet journey together, one that begins not in the waking world, but somewhere softer, somewhere secret. Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Find a space where your body can fully rest, your bed, your favorite chair, or simply the quiet of your own thoughts. Let your shoulders drop a little, your jaw unclench, your breath soften. If you're new here, welcome to our sleepy corner of the world. Each night, we drift together into stories woven with calm and wonder, stories that soothe, stories that let go of the day. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, remember to follow and subscribe to Whispers of the Night. It helps us continue creating peaceful tales like this one for you every night. So settle in now, let the world outside grow quieter. Tonight, we'll wander down a hidden street where dreams drift like lanterns in twilight, and where a gentle heart named Liora learns the language of hope and light. This is the street where dreams wandered. As the evening folds into twilight, imagine a narrow cobblestone street tucked quietly between two tall buildings, a place unnoticed by most, yet waiting patiently for those who still believe in wonder. The air hums faintly here, like a lullaby carried by the wind. Tonight, you'll walk with Liora, a gentle soul who finds herself drawn to this hidden place, where dreams wander freely, glowing softly beneath floating lanterns. You'll follow her as she learns to see the forgotten dreams of others, to listen to their whispers, and to guide them home again. So, close your eyes now and let the first breath of night sweep gently across your thoughts. Let it lift away the edges of the day and carry you to the street where dreams wandered. Let's take a moment to let your body and mind unwind before we begin our journey through the story. Take a deep, slow breath in and gently release it. Again, breathe in, feel your lungs expand softly, and exhale, letting all the tension begin to melt away with each breath. Your body grows heavier. Your thoughts drift slower. Your awareness narrows into the calmness around you. Imagine you are lying under a quiet sky, its color deepening from violet to indigo. The air is cool and kind against your skin. Above, soft lanterns drift slowly, carried by invisible breezes. Each one glows with a tiny, shimmering fragments of light and hope. You watch them float gently, their movement unhurried, graceful, endless. The light of one passes near your face, warm and golden, brushing your cheek like a sigh. You feel a calm energy in your chest, now a quiet rhythm syncing with your breath. The rise and fall of your chest feels natural, effortless, like waves kissing a distant shore. As you breathe, you imagine your thoughts softening into clouds, fluffy, harmless, drifting away into the night. There's no need to hold on to anything. The world grows quieter. The sounds of the day fade to a memory, the hum of conversation, the rhythm of footsteps, the rush of hours. And what's left is only stillness, soft, luminous stillness. You can almost hear the gentle hum of the street beneath your feet. It welcomes you with warmth, like an old friend. You feel at peace, knowing you are safe here, surrounded by light, by calm, by dreams waiting to be found. Stay here a moment longer. Breathe in peace and breathe out release. Soon, you'll follow Liora as she walks down the glowing path, discovering the dreams that drift through twilight. But for now, just rest. You are ready. You are calm. You are home in this quiet world. The street where dreams wandered, the hidden street, Liora, the alleys and pathways that most people overlooked, where shadows played softly against brick walls and the hum of life was gentle and unassuming. On that particular evening, as the sun dipped low and the horizon was brushed with streaks of amber and rose, she wandered aimlessly, letting her feet guide her. The usual bustle of the city had softened, leaving only delicate sounds: the clink of a shop sign, the whisper of wind through narrow lanes, the distant laughter of children playing. It was a fragile time of day she cherished, when the world seemed to pause and hold its breath. Liora had walked these streets countless times, yet something in the air that evening made her pause. She turned the corner near the old bakery, where the scent of warm bread lingered despite the closed shutters, and noticed a narrow street tucked between two tall, unremarkable buildings. At first, she thought it was merely a gap, a forgotten alley she had overlooked, but the soft glow spilling from within drew her in. The cobblestones were uneven, worn smooth by countless footsteps, and the space seemed impossibly quiet, as if it had been hidden from the city itself. Curiosity stirred in Liora like a gentle wind. She stepped forward, hesitantly at first, feeling the warmth of the fading sunlight brush her cheeks. The walls rose high on either side, catching the last blush of twilight in intricate patterns she had never noticed before. Tiny lanterns hung along the walls, glowing faintly, flickering as though breathing, each flame a miniature star suspended in the dusk. She had never seen this street, yet it felt familiar, welcoming, as if it had been waiting for her. As she ventured further, a soft hum became perceptible, a vibration underfoot and in her chest. Gentle at first, it grew steadily, like a song waiting to be heard. Liora slowed, letting it wash over her, feeling as though the street spoke in a language older than words. Each step echoed lightly on the cobblestones, joining the hum. The narrow lane pulsed with life, with stories stored in its stones, in the flickering lights, in the delicate arches of the buildings that leaned protectively toward one another. She traced the subtle details around her. Moss and tiny creeping vines adorned the bricks, as if nature had chosen to embellish this hidden passage. Shadows danced in the lantern light, forming ephemeral shapes that seemed to bow as she passed. Liora wondered if time moved differently here, if the street existed outside the usual rules of the city. The hum steadied, comforting and strange, carrying the echo of those who had wandered here before. Her heartbeat slowed, her thoughts quieted. The street enveloped her in calm, a sanctuary carved from the ordinary world. Along the walls were small doorways at irregular intervals, each unique arched tops, square frames, painted in colors that shimmered in the lantern glow. One door, dark wood with a brass handle shaped like a crescent moon, drew her attention. She reached out, feeling the warmth of metal beneath her fingers, sensing the secret it held. She wondered what lay beyond: tiny shops selling forgotten treasures, rooms filled with music and laughter, or libraries where stories lived in glass jars that chimed when opened. Her heart lifted at the possibilities, tinged with reverent awe. The cobblestones beneath her feet seemed to shift. Some glimmered faintly, reflecting the lanterns like mirrors. Others felt soft, springy, as if encouraging her onward. The air smelled faintly of jasmine and old parchment, comforting yet dreamlike. Liora tilted her head, listening closely to the hum. Melodic now, it carried her thoughts away from the worries of the day. She realized she had not felt this peaceful in months, perhaps years, and that the street offered her a reprieve, a quiet magic hidden in plain sight. Further along, impossible yet natural details revealed themselves. Tiny windows high above showed glimpses of interiors that defied expectation. One glowed with golden light, illuminating shelves of floating, sparkling dust. Another had gossamer curtains swaying without breeze, shadows dancing as if holding wordless conversations. Liora's pulse quickened. The street was alive, whispering not just with sound, but with memory, imagination, and possibility. She paused at a small fountain nestled between leaning buildings. Water trickled gently from carved stone creatures into a shallow basin, glowing faintly. Leaning close, she thought she saw reflections, not of herself, but of moments she had yet to live, fleeting laughter, music, soft embraces of friends not yet met. She smiled, sensing that this street could reveal more than beauty. It mirrored the quiet corners of the heart and the hopes. One had not dared speak aloud. The street twisted and curved, leading her to alcoves where wildflowers grew in impossible clusters, petals shimmering in unnameable hues. Lanterns swayed above, forming constellations that mirrored the twilight sky. Stories seemed everywhere. Carved doors, the gentle fountain, the hum, now like a song sung to her soul. Each element felt part of a vast tapestry, woven for those patient enough to wander its paths. Liora slowed at a curve where the lanterns glowed brighter. She hesitated, feeling anticipation and reverence. The hum swelled as if urging her onward. Beyond this bend, she sensed something extraordinary awaited. She stepped around it and entered a small square, barely larger than the street, yet breathtaking in serenity. The surrounding buildings seemed gentle, protective. In the center, cobblestones formed a delicate mosaic, each stone catching the lantern light, shimmering like starlight dot drawn to the mosaic. Liora sat on its edge, brushing her hands against the smooth stones. The hum settled into a steady rhythm, syncing with her heartbeat. She closed her eyes, breathing in jasmine and moss, letting the quiet magic seep into her bones. Though alone, she felt embraced, recognized for her curiosity and gentle spirit. This place was not only hidden physically, but in essence, secret, held by the city for those seeking more than ordinary life. Opening her eyes, the lanterns above shimmered, shadows dancing in time with the hum. She could spend hours, perhaps days, discovering new wonders. She imagined 1,000 stories playing out along the cobblestones. People had walked this street before, and others would follow. Each step was a step into possibility, into wonder, into gentle magic, overlooked in the ordinary world. Time stretched. Minutes, hours. Liora lost count, neither hungry nor tired. She wandered the square, savoring every detail. The changing lantern light, the hum's subtle shifts. Every sense was heightened, attuned to the street's quiet symphony. It demanded observation, reverence, patience, and she gave herself willingly, knowing she had discovered something rare and precious at the far end of the square. A small archway led to another narrow stretch of cobblestones. She hesitated, then stepped through, drawn by the same gentle pull. Beyond, the street twisted, promising discoveries, whispers, quiet wonders. Excitement mingled with serenity. She had found a place outside the ordinary, where dreams truly wandered, and imagination flourished freely. Liora paused. Looking back over the square, mosaic glowing lanterns, and gentle cobblestone curves, she felt belonging she had never known, recognizing that the street had been waiting for her as she had sought it without knowing, alive, breathing softly, humming its stories, welcoming those who noticed beauty and mystery. In that moment, Liora understood some streets are more than passageways, more than bricks and stones. They are vessels of wonder, carriers of stories, keepers of secrets, guardians of dreams. She smiled, the hum settling in her chest, part of her now. One last glance at the lanterns, flickering like tiny stars, and she stepped forward, deeper into the hidden street, ready to discover the mysteries awaiting her. The street, alive with gentle stories, welcomed her fully, unfolding its magic one soft, luminous step at a time. Whispers of dreams. Liora continued along the narrow street, her footsteps soft against the cobblestones, the lantern's gentle glow guiding her deeper into the hidden lane. The hum that had accompanied her through the square persisted, now subtler, like a whisper just beneath the surface of her awareness. She walked slowly, savoring each step, allowing herself to notice every flicker of light, every shadow, and every subtle movement in the air. The street seemed to stretch endlessly before her, curving and bending as if it were alive, shaping itself around her curiosity. She felt a gentle pull, an almost magnetic insistence that she followed the path further, into the heart of this place that existed between reality and dream. As she walked, Liora began to notice something new, small orbs, faintly glowing, hovering just above the cobblestones. They shimmered with soft light, drifting lazily along the edges of the street, each one distinct in color and hue. Some glowed like pale silver, others like warm amber, soft pink, or gentle teal. They moved with a quiet, purposeful grace, responding to the currents of the street itself. Liora slowed her pace, watching them with a mixture of awe and reverence. She realized that these were not ordinary lights. There was something in their glow that felt alive, sentient even, as though each orb carried a fragment of consciousness, a story waiting to be discovered. She reached out tentatively with her hand, and one of the smaller orbs floated closer, responding to her presence. It hovered just above her palm, warm and delicate, vibrating softly like a heartbeat. When her fingers brushed it, the orb dissolved into a shower of golden light, and Liora felt an immediate sensation in her chest, a gentle flood of memory and emotion, soft as a sigh. She saw a fleeting image of a child running through fields of wildflowers, laughing freely without care. She felt the sweetness of that moment, the warmth of innocent joy, and a gentle nostalgia for experiences she had never lived but somehow understood, as if the memory belonged to the world itself and had been waiting for her to notice it. Liora stood still, absorbing the magic of the moment. Around her, the other orbs drifted lazily, moving like playful spirits along the edges of the cobblestones. She realized that each one contained a dream, small, fragile, and luminous. Some were wishes long forgotten, tucked away in the hearts of people who had lost hope or had simply grown too busy to remember them. Others were daydreams, simple fantasies of wonder and delight that had slipped from consciousness over time. Some were fleeting hopes, brief moments of longing that had never found expression. All of them floated here, carried by the street itself, like fragments of imagination suspended in the air for those patient enough to notice. A soft breeze carried a gentle murmur, almost like whispers, and Liora understood that the street was speaking to her through these lights. It was guiding her, offering her a chance to witness these tiny fragments of human desire, and perhaps even to feel their beauty and fragility as if they were her own. She knelt to observe an orb that glowed a gentle pink. It bobbed gently, spinning slowly in the air, as though inviting her closer. She reached out, and it dissolved into a warm memory of a quiet afternoon, sunlight filtering through a window as a child traced letters in the dust. Liora felt the serene happiness of that moment, the calm contentment that came from being completely present, and she sighed softly, overwhelmed by the beauty of it. The orbs responded to her attention. As she moved, more drifted toward her, curious and gentle, like living lanterns seeking acknowledgement. Each time she touched one, it dissolved into a warm, fleeting memory, carrying emotions of longing, joy, sadness, and hope. Liora felt herself immersed in a symphony of feelings, each orb a note in a larger, invisible melody. She understood that these dreams were not hers, yet somehow they were shared, universal in their essence. They were fragments of humanity itself, tender and luminous, waiting for someone to remember and honor them. She continued walking, letting her fingers brush past the floating lights, feeling the warmth of each memory and the soft ache of nostalgia. The street seemed to guide her through a delicate choreography, the orbs shifting and spinning to lead her forward. Some glowed brighter, others dimmed slightly, responding to her curiosity and attention. She realized that the more she acknowledged these dreams, the more vivid they became, as if her presence breathed life into them once again. The experience was gentle yet profound, an unspoken connection between her and the countless lives whose fragments drifted here. As she moved along the street, Liora noticed that the cobblestones themselves seemed to reflect the orb's light. Patterns shimmered beneath her feet, creating intricate designs that shifted with every step. Some resembled constellations, others delicate floral motifs, all shimmering softly as though painted in liquid moonlight. The entire street felt alive, a living gallery of human hope and imagination. Each element responding to her presence, each detail inviting closer observation. She felt herself becoming part of it, her awareness woven into the gentle rhythm of the lane, her senses attuned to its subtleties. A particularly large orb hovered before her, glowing a deep amber. When Liora reached out, it dissolved into a memory of a long-forgotten celebration, laughter, music, and the scent of baked bread and flowers. She felt the warmth of companionship, the fleeting joy of shared moments, and the bittersweet ache of their impermanence. She closed her eyes, letting the sensation wash over her, and understood something she had never realized, that memories, even if forgotten or distant, carried a form of beauty that could be touched and appreciated. These orbs were not merely light, they were vessels of human experience, suspended for someone like her to witness, to honor, and to carry forward. Liora continued forward, captivated by the street's quiet magic. The orbs multiplied as she moved deeper, drifting along walls, hovering in alcoves, and floating through arches. Some seemed playful, twirling and darting about, while others lingered, inviting gentle touch. Each encounter left her heart lighter, yet more profoundly aware of the tenderness embedded in every human wish and hope. The street had become a sanctuary, a quiet place where one could feel the delicate threads of countless lives and recognize the beauty that lingered even in forgotten dreams. At one point, Liora paused near a small archway. The orbs here seemed more concentrated, glowing softly in shades of lavender and silver. As she reached out, one dissolved into the memory of a quiet night under a starlit sky, a child lying in tall grass and imagining the cosmos. She felt the thrill of imagination and the comfort of stillness, the gentle knowledge that someone had dreamed. The hum of the street swelled softly, as though affirming that she was witnessing something sacred, a hidden gift preserved by time and memory. She wandered further, touching orb after orb, each leaving a warm echo in her heart. Liora noticed patterns in their movement, as though the street guided them along invisible currents. They seemed to form trails, drawing her attention to places she might otherwise have overlooked. A tiny fountain tucked in a corner, its waters reflecting the soft glow of the orbs. A small doorway with delicate carvings, an alcove where flowers grew in impossible clusters, petals glistening in the light. The entire street was alive with intention, each element orchestrated to reveal its magic gradually, to reward curiosity, and to celebrate the gentle act of noticing. A golden orb drifted close, larger than the others, and hovered at eye level. Liora reached out, and it dissolved into a memory of quiet hope, a wish made silently, a fleeting dream whispered into the night. She felt a soft warmth bloom in her chest, the pure essence of longing transformed into something tangible and beautiful. The streets seemed to respond, the hum rising slightly, as if in quiet applause. She understood then that the magic of this place was not just in the visual spectacle of floating lights, but in the way it connected hearts, past and present, through the shared experience of dreams and memory. Time passed unnoticed. Liora moved through the street, feeling lighter with each encounter, yet aware of the depth of emotion she was witnessing. She realized that the street preserved these moments, not for her alone, but for anyone willing to see and honor them. Each orb, each shimmer of light, each gentle hum was a testament to human imagination and hope. She felt gratitude and awe, humbled by the delicate beauty suspended in the air, grateful for the chance to witness the whispers of dreams that had drifted here, waiting for recognition. As the evening deepened, the glow of the lanterns blended with the soft light of the orbs, creating a tapestry of color that shifted and shimmered with her every movement. Shadows danced along the walls, bending and stretching in harmony with the drifting lights. Liora felt a profound sense of belonging, a quiet connection to the hidden street and the dreams it carried. She realized that she was not merely observing, but participating, her attention and presence giving weight and meaning to the delicate fragments she touched. Eventually, she reached a small square at the heart of the street, where the orbs gathered in a gentle swirl above the cobblestones. Liora paused, letting the lights drift around her, illuminating her features with soft, ethereal radiance. She felt the totality of the experience, the hum of the street, the glow of the lanterns, the gentle warmth of countless memories and dreams, and the intimate connection she shared with this hidden world. She understood that she had found something rare, a place where forgotten wishes and daydreams could be honored, touched, and remembered. With a deep, serene breath, Liora stepped forward, letting the street guide her onward, each orb dissolving into a gentle memory as she passed, leaving trails of light that shimmered briefly before fading into the quiet magic of the lane. She felt her heart full, lighter, and more alive than she had in a long time. The whispers of dreams surrounded her, carried by the gentle hum of the street, filling the night with quiet wonder and infinite possibility. And as she walked further, the orbs continuing to drift softly around her, Liora realized that this hidden street was not simply a place to explore, it was a sanctuary of the human heart, a gallery of memory, hope, and imagination, and she was a willing witness to its infinite, delicate magic. The dream keeper Liora continued along the hidden street, feeling the gentle hum under her feet and the soft glow of floating orbs illuminating her path. The orbs drifted lazily around her, carrying faint echoes of laughter, hope, and forgotten wishes. The deeper she ventured, the stronger the sense became that the street itself was alive, aware of her presence, and waiting to reveal something extraordinary. Her heart thrummed with quiet anticipation as she rounded a gentle curve where the lantern's light deepened into a warmer, more golden hue. It was here, in a small square tucked between leaning buildings, that she first noticed him. He was seated upon a low stone bench beside a tiny fountain, his posture straight but relaxed, hands resting lightly on his knees. His features were soft yet striking, lined with the wisdom of years, yet carrying a serenity that seemed untouched by time. His eyes, calm and deep, reflected the glow of the lanterns above, mirroring the orbs that drifted around them. A faint smile played upon his lips, as if he had been expecting her. Liora paused, unsure whether to approach, sensing both reverence and warmth emanating from him. Something about his presence felt natural, like meeting an old friend she had always known but never seen. As she stepped closer, the hum of the street shifted subtly, harmonizing with the cadence of her heartbeat. The orbs floated gently toward the old figure, clustering around him in a slow, deliberate dance, as if guided by his will. He gestured softly for her to sit on the edge of the fountain, and Liora obeyed, her curiosity outweighing any hesitation. The air around them shimmered with quiet magic, and the street seemed to lean in, holding its breath, as though aware that a significant moment was unfolding. "You have come far," the figure said in a voice that was low and calm, like the gentle rustle of leaves in twilight. "Farther than most can sense or follow. This street notices those who pay attention. It recognizes the heart, the quiet willingness to witness, and it calls to them." His gaze met hers, steady and inviting. Liora felt an immediate trust, a profound sense that he was both guardian and guide, one who understood the hidden language of this magical place. Who are you?" she asked softly, her voice barely rising above the hum that surrounded them. "I am the keeper," he replied simply, his eyes glimmering with a quiet understanding. "I guide the dreams along this street, watch over the hopes and wishes that people have abandoned or forgotten, and ensure they are not lost entirely. These dreams are fragile, delicate, and yet full of life. They wait here, suspended, in case someone like you comes to see them, to honor them, to breathe acknowledgement back into their existence." Liora glanced around at the orbs drifting past her, their soft glow illuminating the details of the buildings and cobblestones. Each orb seemed to pulse with subtle emotion, vibrating gently, as if in response to the keeper's words. "All of these dreams," she murmured. "They're here waiting." "Yes," the keeper said. "Some are wishes that were spoken aloud and abandoned. Others are dreams that were never voiced, lost in the rush of everyday life. Some were forgotten entirely, slipping from memory like grains of sand. Yet here they remain, held in trust, waiting for attention. And you," he added, inclining his head toward her, "have a rare ability. You can sense them more vividly than most. You see not only their presence, but their essence. You feel the joy, the longing, the quiet ache that each dream carries." Liora's heart quickened at his words. She had always felt different, attuned to to subtle details and quiet moments, noticing things others often overlooked. But she had never imagined that her sensitivity could connect her to something so profound, so alive. I can feel them, she asked, awe threading through her voice. The keeper nodded slowly, his expression gentle. Not everyone can. Some pass through this street, others sense it faintly, but cannot sustain the attention required to truly see. You, however, are gifted with patience, curiosity, and empathy. These qualities allow you to perceive not just the glow of the orbs, but the heartbeat within them, the memories they carry, and the faint pulse of longing they contain. Liora looked around, observing the orbs more closely. She could see that they varied not only in color, but in texture and motions. Some floated with languid grace. Others twirled like tiny dancers, their light refracting softly across the cobblestones. As she focused, she realized she could feel the emotions they carried. A wistful ache, a burst of delight, the softness of hope renewed. Her chest expanded with warmth, and a profound empathy swept through her. Each orb seemed to recognize her presence, acknowledging her as someone who could truly understand them. You see them, and in seeing them, you honor them, the keeper continued. But your role is not merely passive. One day, you may help guide these dreams to those who need them, returning them to hearts capable of remembering and cherishing them. For now, though, you are learning, observing, and allowing yourself to be touched by the delicate magic of attention. Liora's gaze fell upon a cluster of orbs, drifting lazily near the fountain. One, glowing faintly silver, drew her closer. She reached out, and as her fingers brushed it, the orb dissolved into a gentle memory, a quiet afternoon, the scent of flowers, a whispered laugh shared between friends long apart. She felt the warmth of connection, the simple yet profound beauty of a fleeting moment preserved. Tears pricked her eyes, not of sadness, but of awe and gratitude for the fragile wonder she was witnessing. The keeper watched her closely, his expression softening. This is why the street called to you, not simply to show you the dreams, but to allow you to feel them, to understand their essence. This understanding will guide you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Liora's mind swirled with questions. Why me? She asked. Why now? Why am I the one who can see them so clearly? The keeper's gaze drifted toward the glowing lanterns above, their light reflecting softly in the orbs surrounding them. Because you carry the necessary heart, he said simply. You have patience, kindness, and a willingness to notice. You have lived with attention and curiosity, qualities that allow you to perceive the subtle, the hidden, and the forgotten. The street recognizes this. It has waited for someone like you, not to take the dreams, but to witness them, to honor them, and eventually to help carry them forward. Such rare gifts often emerge quietly, without fanfare, and it is in quietness that their true power resides. Liora felt a profound resonance with his words. She realized that the quiet attentiveness she had always cherished, the small moments of noticing and caring that others overlooked, were not insignificant. They were precisely what allowed her to experience this hidden world fully. The hum of the street seemed to swell in agreement, filling the air with a comforting vibration that wrapped around her like a gentle embrace. She reached out to another orb, this one glowing a warm amber. As her fingers brushed it, a memory unfolded, a promise made on a sunlit morning, the hope of love and connection, the quiet yearning for understanding. Liora felt it deeply, almost as if she had lived the moment herself. She gasped softly, the intensity of the experience mingling awe with tenderness. The keeper's presence was steady beside her, a grounding force in the midst of the street's delicate magic. You feel them more vividly than others because you allow yourself to, he said. Many rush through life, dismissing the whispers of the small, the forgotten, or the overlooked. You, however, linger, attend, and notice. That is a gift, and one day it will guide others. You will become a bridge between what is lost and what can be remembered, between the quiet wishes of the heart and the chance for them to bloom anew. Liora looked around at the orbs, their gentle light painting the street in shifting hues. She felt an intimate connection to each, an awareness of the lives and dreams they represented. The warmth in her chest deepened, and she understood that this street, this keeper, and these floating memories were not merely a spectacle of magic. They were a testament to the power of attention, empathy, and presence. She had been given the rare opportunity to witness what most would never notice, to honor the invisible threads of human hope and longing that lingered in quiet corners. The keeper leaned forward slightly, resting his hands on his knees. You are ready, Liora, to see beyond the surface of what appears ordinary. The street has shown you this hidden world, but it also calls upon you to listen, to feel, and to honor. You are learning the language of dreams, and in time, you will understand how to guide them, how to share their beauty with those who need it most. For now, simply walk, observe, and let the dreams speak to you. Liora nodded, her heart swelling with quiet gratitude. She felt the hum of the street settle around her, the soft glow of the orbs illuminating every curve of the cobblestones. She stood and began walking again, slower this time, more deliberate, allowing herself to be fully immersed in the gentle, luminous magic of the lane. Each orb she touched released a memory, a hope, a wish, carrying its warmth into her heart and deepening her connection to the street. She realized that the keeper's presence, though silent for long stretches, was guiding her not through instruction, but through example, through the quiet assurance that patience, empathy, and attention were the keys to perceiving and honoring this hidden world. She felt a profound sense of purpose awakening within her, a calling not merely to observe, but to participate in the delicate act of remembering, of allowing forgotten dreams to exist once more in light and warmth. Hours seemed to pass unnoticed. Liora walked, paused, and reached out to touch the orbs, absorbing their beauty, their fragility, and their quiet magic. The hum of the street rose and fell with her movements, a gentle accompaniment to the symphony of floating lights. Shadows danced along the walls, forming delicate patterns, reflecting the infinite variety of the dreams she encountered. In every glance, every touch, every soft inhalation of the scented air, she felt herself becoming part of something larger than the ordinary world, to witness to the tender, luminous heartbeat of humanity itself. Eventually, the keeper rose from his seat, his movements slow and deliberate. he gestured for her to follow, and together they moved deeper into the street, where the glow of the lanterns and the floating orbs mingled into a soft, enveloping radiance. Liora felt a profound serenity, knowing that she was not merely walking through a hidden lane, but through a living gallery of dreams, guided by a figure who understood their essence and by her own unique ability to sense and honor them. The keeper's voice broke the silence gently. Remember, Liora, the street exists for those who notice, for those who linger, for those who honor the fragile beauty of forgotten dreams. And you, rare as you are, can see and feel what others cannot. This is your gift, and it will grow with you, guiding you to understand and preserve what is delicate, luminous, and profoundly human. Liora's chest swelled with quiet awe, and she nodded, a deep sense of purpose threading through her being. She felt ready to continue, to explore, to understand more fully the language of dreams and the secrets of the street. With each step, she felt herself attuned to the subtle rhythms of the orbs, the gentle hum of the cobblestones, and the quiet, unwavering presence of the keeper beside her. She knew that this night and the nights to come would be spent learning, discovering, and honoring the gentle, forgotten, and luminous fragments of human hope that wandered the hidden street, waiting for someone like her to witness them. And so Liora walked on, deeper into the heart of the street, her senses alive to the whispers of dreams, the soft glow of the orbs, and the quiet guidance of the keeper. She understood that she had been chosen, not by chance, but by the quiet resonance of attention, empathy, and the willingness to notice. The street hummed softly around her, and the keeper's presence radiated calm assurance, as if the hidden world itself was breathing with her, acknowledging her rare gift, and welcoming her fully into its luminous, dream-filled embrace. Chasing shadows. Liora wandered further into the hidden street, the gentle hum beneath her feet resonating with her heartbeat. The lanterns above cast warm, flickering light, illuminating the floating orbs that drifted lazily around her. She had grown accustomed to their subtle luminescence, to the quiet glow that carried forgotten dreams and abandoned hopes. Tonight, however, there was a difference in the air. Some of the orbs moved erratically, drifting aimlessly through the lane, their light dimmed by uncertainty, tinged with restlessness. Shadows flickered along the walls, stretching and shrinking as if responding to the orb's unsettled energy. The keeper had warned her that not all dreams were content to wait quietly. Some were restless, lonely, or anxious, wandering through the street in search of attention, in need of guidance. Liora watched carefully as a small cluster of silvery orbs spun in slow, erratic circles, their gentle hum uneven. She felt the tug of longing within them, a quiet ache of dreams that had been abandoned, forgotten, or interrupted. They pulsed with delicate energy, carrying fragments of desire that had never been realized, yet were not entirely lost. Liora reached out her hands, moving slowly, deliberately, to avoid startling them. The nearest orb hovered near her fingertips, trembling like a fragile heartbeat. She felt a pang of empathy, recognizing the loneliness it carried. Closing her eyes, she breathed deeply and imagined a gentle path, a route back to a place where the dream might be remembered or restored. Slowly, the orb's trembling softened, its light brightened, and it began to follow her. Almost as if trusting her guidance, she led it along the street, past the alcoves and arches where flowers glimmered faintly in the lantern light. The cobblestones reflected the orb's glow, creating a subtle path, a delicate trail of hope that seemed to shimmer just above the surface. Liora whispered softly, coaxing the dream with quiet encouragement. She imagined a child, a young painter whose wish to create had faded beneath the demands of the world. The orb pulsed gently, responding to her thoughts, aligning with the memory she envisioned as she approached a small, open window spilling soft light onto the street. She held her hand out, allowing the orb to drift closer. She pictured the child's joy, the warmth of a small brush in tiny hands, and the thrill of colors flowing onto blank canvas. The orb shimmered brightly and, with a subtle ripple of light, merged into the room beyond the window. Inside, she imagined the child smiling, lifting a brush once more, feeling the joy of forgotten creativity restored. Liora exhaled softly, a wave of satisfaction warming her chest. The first of the restless dreams had found its way home encouraged. She turned to the next drifting orb, this one glowing a muted amber and moving with hesitant aimlessness. She sensed the memory it carried, a musician who had stopped singing, whose voice had fallen silent beneath disappointment and fear. The dream floated erratically, longing for release, for recognition, for the simple act of being remembered. Liora reached out with her hand and her heart, offering attention, empathy, and gentle guidance. The orb responded, its trembling slowing as she whispered encouragement, imagining the musician finding courage again. Letting the voice rise, soft and true, she walked alongside it, moving carefully through the winding street, imagining the musician's notes filling a quiet room, spilling into the hearts of listeners who had once waited for them. The orb pulsed with growing strength, shimmering more confidently, as if the memory it carried was finding its voice once more. When she reached a modest doorway, she envisioned the musician stepping through, letting the song flow freely. The orb glowed brightly, merging seamlessly into the imagined scene, and Liora felt a quiet thrill, a dream restored, a fragment of hope returned to life. The street itself seemed to respond, the hum swelling gently, as if approving her efforts. Shadows along the walls softened, flickering in gentle rhythm with the floating orbs. Liora moved on, sensing another restless fragment nearby, a deep green orb, spinning with uncertainty, carrying the memory of a friendship interrupted by pride, misunderstanding, or fear. The dream longed for reconciliation, for a bridge to connect hearts once separated. Liora focused, imagining warmth, empathy, and understanding flowing between the friends. She reached out, her hand steady, offering gentle attention and care. The orb drifted closer, pulsing brighter with each heartbeat until it seemed almost to quiver with joy. She guided it along the cobblestones to to a doorway bathed in soft light, envisioning the friends meeting again, exchanging words of understanding, laughter, and quiet apologies. The orb merged into the imagined reunion, glowing brilliantly for a moment before settling softly into the night. Liora felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Small acts, simple attention, and gentle presence had restored dreams that had drifted into shadow. Her gaze wandered along the street, observing dozens of drifting orbs, each carrying a fragment of longing, some luminous, others dimmed by neglect. She realized that the street held both the fragile and the resilient, the forgotten and the barely remembered. She understood, as she had begun to in previous nights, that the magic of this place was not only in the orbs themselves, but in the act of noticing, of tending to them with patience and care. Each small act of guidance, each gentle touch of attention, restored a measure of hope, of light, and of possibility. A subtle breeze stirred the lanterns above, carrying faint scents of jasmine and old parchment, mingling with the warmth of the orb's glow. Shadows danced softly along the walls, forming patterns that mirrored the movement of the drifting dreams. Liora felt her own heartbeat attuned to the rhythm of the street, a delicate harmony that pulsed with the lives and wishes held within the orbs. She walked slowly, letting each encounter unfold naturally, allowing her intuition and empathy to guide her steps. One particularly restless orb caught her attention, a soft, violet hue, spinning in tight, anxious circles. Its memory felt urgent, a wish abandoned too soon, a dream interrupted before it could take root. Liora knelt beside it, placing her hands carefully around the drifting light. She envisioned a small figure, a child longing to explore, to discover, to create in ways the world had discouraged. She imagined encouragement, belief, and gentle guidance reaching the child. Lifting the dream from shadows into light, the orb brightened, pulsing with gratitude, as if responding to the care she offered. Liora guided it to a small doorway, seeing in her mind the child stepping into possibility. Hope reignited, the dream carried forward into action. She felt a surge of quiet joy, a deep awareness of the profound effect of attention, empathy, and care, even on the smallest of wishes. Further along, the street curved and narrowed, the lanterns casting longer shadows that mingled with the drifting orbs. Liora noticed that some orbs were hesitant to move, unsure of their direction. She paused, letting her presence communicate patience and reassurance. Slowly, the orbs began to follow her lead, drifting in gentle patterns, their light softening, pulsing with renewed life. She realized that the street itself was a conduit for these dreams, but that her attention, her willingness to guide, was what allowed them to regain momentum, to find their paths, to shine once more. A warm amber orb floated near a leaning archway, carrying the memory of a young artist whose hopes had been overshadowed by doubt. Liora reached out, focusing on the potential that still shimmered within, and imagined encouragement, quiet reassurance, and the freedom to create without fear. The orb pulsed with growing brilliance, finally gliding confidently into the imagined space where the artist painted once more, brushstrokes bright and unrestrained. Liora exhaled, feeling the subtle thrill of a dream returned to its rightful course. She continued along the cobblestones, now attuned to the nuances of restlessness and hesitation in the orb's movement. Each one she guided, she realized, carried more than memory. It carried the potential to transform lives. Intending to these dreams, she was not merely observing, she was participating in the quiet restoration of hope, of creativity, of connection. Small acts of gentle attention rippled outward, touching lives she might never meet, yet feeling intimately real in her heart. Hours passed unnoticed, the street alive with quiet motion, the hum of cobblestones and lanterns creating a soft symphony that accompanied her work. Shadows and light intertwined in a delicate dance, echoing the movement of the drifting orbs. Liora's heart felt full, her spirit enlivened by the realization that even the smallest gestures, patience, care, acknowledgement could restore forgotten dreams and illuminate paths once lost. As she guided the final orbs in the square, she paused, watching them drift confidently along imagined paths, merging into lives that would remember hope, creativity, and love. The street itself seemed to sigh with quiet satisfaction, the hum settling into a gentle, steady rhythm. Liora understood more fully than ever that magic resided not in grand gestures, but in the small, deliberate acts of attention and care, in the willingness to notice what others overlooked. The keeper appeared silently at her side, his presence grounding and calm. "You see, Liora," he said, his voice soft as the night air, "even the smallest act of guidance, the quietest touch of attention, can restore what was lost. Dreams, like people, flourish when acknowledged. They fade when ignored. You are learning the true power of gentle attention, of patience, of care." Liora nodded, her chest warm with quiet pride and humility. She realized that the restless shadows she had guided tonight were more than memories. They were fragments of lives, pieces of hope, sparks of potential waiting for someone to notice. And in noticing, she had helped them shine once more. As the night deepened, she walked on, lanterns above flickering softly, orbs drifting around her in gentle patterns. Shadows and light intertwined, the street alive with the quiet hum of life and memory. Liora understood that she had become part of this hidden lane, a guardian of sorts, entrusted with the delicate, luminous fragments of human hope. The power of small acts and gentle attention had revealed itself to her, not as an abstract lesson, but as lived, tangible experience. Each dream restored, a testament to the profound effect of care, empathy, and presence. With a final glance at the drifting orbs and the glowing lanterns, Liora continued deeper into the street, heart attuned to every flicker of light, every subtle movement, and every whisper of longing carried in the gentle glow. She knew that more dreams awaited her, more shadows would need guidance, and more forgotten hopes would call for her quiet attention. But she felt ready, steady in her purpose, knowing that the smallest acts of kindness and awareness could illuminate paths, restore light, and transform the whispers of dreams into living reality. And so, Liora moved onward, the street alive around her, guiding her as she guided the dreams, a gentle dance of shadows, light, and hope unfolding in the quiet magic of the hidden lane. The storm of lost dreams. The night air felt heavier than usual as Liora stepped onto the hidden street, the hum beneath the cobblestones carrying a tension she had never noticed before. Lanterns flickered nervously above her, casting wavering pools of light that seemed uncertain, as though they too sensed the disturbance. The orbs drifted sluggishly at first, their glow dimmed, shadows curling and stretching along the walls in restless patterns. Liora paused, sensing that something was not right. The air smelled faintly of ozone, carrying a whisper of distant rain, though the sky above the narrow street remained clear. Before she could gather her thoughts, a gust of wind swept through the lane, stronger than any she had felt before. It rattled the lanterns and set the floating orbs spinning wildly, scattering them like sparks from a flame. The gentle hum of the street rose to a sharp, urgent pitch, a cacophony of hurried whispers that tugged at Liora's heart. Dreams were being carried away, untethered, drifting toward the unknown, vulnerable to vanishing forever, if not guided back. Liora's chest tightened with alarm. This was not simply a street of quiet observation anymore. It was a place demanding courage, decisiveness, and swift action. A sudden sense of urgency propelled her forward. "The Keeper," she called, her voice carried in the rising wind. He appeared almost instantly beside her, moving with a calm grace that belied the chaos around them. His eyes, usually steady pools of serenity, now glimmered with focus, reflecting the frantic dance of the orbs. Liora realized that together they would have to save the drifting dreams before they were lost entirely. "Hold on to the light," the Keeper said, his voice rising above the gusts. "Some of these dreams are fragile. They have waited long to be remembered, and they can be scattered beyond return if we are not careful. Courage, attention, and care, these are the tethers that will hold them steady." Liora nodded, determination flooding her senses. She extended her hands, reaching for the nearest orb, a soft silver one, spinning wildly like a frightened bird. She imagined warmth, protection, and the gentle pull of home, willing it to slow and steady. Gradually, the orb responded, its light brightening as it aligned with her touch. It hovered close, quivering less, and she felt a flicker of relief. A small victory amid the chaos. The Keeper moved beside her, gathering multiple orbs into a gentle swirl with precise, flowing gestures. The orbs, sensing his calm authority, responded by aligning their movements with his own, forming a luminous current that pulsed like a living river. Together, Liora and the Keeper wove through the street, a careful dance of hands, heart, and attention, tethering the dreams and guiding them back to gentle paths of light. One orb, in particular, a soft amber hue, had slipped far ahead, spinning wildly as if trying to flee entirely. Liora's heart leaped. She sprinted, focusing all her energy on it, imagining a protective cocoon around its glow, whispering words of encouragement and hope. The Keeper called from behind, offering guidance, steadying other orbs, ensuring none were lost. The wind roared through the narrow lane, tugging at her hair and clothes. But Liora pressed forward, her focus unbroken. Slowly, painstakingly, she brought the amber orb closer, its erratic movement calming as it responded to her courage and care. As they moved through the street, Liora realized that each runaway dream carried its own story, each requiring a unique touch, a different kind of attention. One orb, soft lavender, spiraled as though trapped in sorrow. Liora imagined a young poet, their words lost to fear of judgment, longing to be spoken aloud. She reached out, letting her presence communicate safety, allowing the dream to feel seen and valued. The orb pulsed gently, its glow stabilizing as she led it toward a doorway where the imagined poet could lift a pen once more, releasing the words that had been trapped inside. Another orb, a deep green, darted unpredictably, as if caught between hope and despair. Liora sensed the memory it carried, a child who had longed to explore, to climb, to discover, yet had been held back by doubt and caution. She ran alongside it, arms outstretched, visualizing encouragement, freedom, and courage. Slowly, the orb's frantic motion eased, and it followed her guidance to a small window, spilling warm light. She imagined the child stepping outside, breath filled with exhilaration, heart alive with possibility. The orb glowed brightly, merging seamlessly into the envisioned moment of liberation. The wind intensified, carrying leaves, petals, and scattered lantern light in wild swirls. Shadows danced violently along the walls, elongating, twisting, and folding into one another. Yet, within the chaos, Liora felt a calm determination settle over her. The keeper's presence was a steady anchor, a quiet reassurance that even the most fragile dreams could be recovered with patience, courage, and care. He moved fluidly, his gestures precise, gathering orbs and aligning their paths, while Liora followed, weaving through the street in harmony with him. A particularly desperate orb caught her attention, a small, pale pink light, flickering as though it might vanish completely. She understood immediately. This was a dream of connection, a wish for reconciliation, long abandoned and nearly lost. Liora extended her hands, visualizing a thread of warmth, empathy, and understanding bridging the gap between hearts. The orb quivered violently, caught in the wind, but gradually, as she focused her energy and intention, it began to drift toward safety, its glow stabilizing. Pulsing in gratitude, the keeper glanced at her with a hint of approval. See how attention and courage tether even the most fragile hopes, he said, his voice calm yet filled with quiet urgency. We do not force the dreams, we guide them. We honor them with presence and care. That is the power you possess, Liora, and it will serve you well beyond this street. They continued working together, racing through the winding lanes, rounding corners, and passing under arches where the wind funneled sharply, threatening to scatter the orbs again. Liora learned to move with patience, anticipating the drift of each orb, sensing the direction its memory wanted to follow. Some required gentle coaxing, others bold reassurance. In each case, she discovered that her attention, coupled with courage, could stabilize even the most desperate fragments of hope. Hours passed, though the night felt like only moments. The storm began to wane, the gusts less violent, the lantern's light steadying. Orbs that had tumbled and spun wildly now floated more smoothly, their glow vibrant once more. Liora realized that not a single dream had been lost. Every memory, every wish, every fragment of hope she had touched now drifted securely along gentle paths, restored, tethered, and safe. The keeper moved beside her, his expression serene. "Tonight, you have learned the importance of courage in the face of chaos," he said softly, "and care. Never underestimate the power of gentle attention and presence. Even the smallest act can anchor what might otherwise drift into oblivion. You have restored balance, and in doing so, you have strengthened the street itself." Liora looked around at the glowing orbs, now drifting lazily along the cobblestones, their light shimmering softly under the lanterns. She felt a profound sense of fulfillment, her heart warm with quiet joy. The storm had tested her, and she had risen to the challenge, discovering that courage and care could tether even the most fragile hopes. Each orb seemed to pulse with gratitude, a luminous acknowledgement of her effort and presence. She paused near a small fountain at the center of the street, watching orbs circle gently above the water. She reached out, letting her hands hover near the soft glow of several, imagining a protective cocoon that would keep them steady even in future disturbances. The water reflected the lights, doubling their brilliance, creating a serene, almost sacred tableau. Liora realized that the storm had not only tested her skill and heart, but also deepened her connection to the street and the keeper. She understood more clearly than ever that her role was not merely passive observation, but active participation, a partnership with the street to preserve, protect, and honor dreams. The keeper settled beside her, his calm presence a comforting counterpoint to the lingering tension of the storm. "You see now," he said, "that even the smallest hopes, the most fragile dreams, require courage to safeguard. You have demonstrated both patience and bravery. This is the essence of guiding dreams: gentle hands, a steady heart, and the willingness to step forward when the world feels turbulent." Liora nodded, her chest filled with quiet pride and awe. She felt the warmth of the street, the soft glow of the orbs, and the gentle hum beneath her feet. The storm had scattered the dreams, but it had also taught her something profound, that even in chaos, hope could be anchored, restored, and renewed through attention, care, and courage. She understood that she had discovered a vital truth about the nature of dreams and of life itself. Fragile though they might be, they could endure when held with deliberate tenderness. As the wind finally subsided, the street settled into its usual calm, the lantern's light steady, the orbs drifting lazily above the cobblestones. Shadows softened, folding gently into one another, and the hum returned to its familiar, soothing rhythm. Liora walked slowly through the street, observing the restored dreams, feeling their quiet gratitude, and understanding that this night had deepened her bond with the hidden lane. She had witnessed the storm, faced its challenges, and discovered her own strength as a guide of dreams. The keeper's voice broke the silence gently. "Remember this night, Liora?" he said, his eyes reflecting the gentle glow of the orbs. "Even the most fragile hope can withstand turbulence when met with courage, attention, and care. The street has tested you, and you have proven that you are capable. You are becoming more than a witness. You are a guardian." Liora's heart swelled with quiet pride. She realized that the street, the keeper, and the drifting orbs had entrusted her with a rare and delicate responsibility. Courage and care were not abstract concepts, but living, active forces, capable of tethering what might otherwise vanish. And she, with her patient attention, could ensure that even the most fragile dreams could be restored and preserved. Liora exhaled deeply, feeling a serene satisfaction settle within her. The storm had passed, the chaos transformed into calm, and the street hummed softly around her, a living testament to the resilience of hope and the quiet power of presence. She knew that more challenges awaited, more restless dreams to guide, and more opportunities to tether fragile hopes with courage and care. But tonight, she had learned the profound truth of her gift, and the hidden street seemed to embrace her in luminous acknowledgement. And so Liora continued her walk, deeper into the heart of the lane, the keeper beside her, the orbs drifting safely around them, shadows and light intertwined, the street alive with memory and hope. And she understood that courage, attention, and care could hold even the most fragile dreams steady, illuminating paths for them to follow, and ensuring that no whisper of longing would ever be lost again. Guardian of wandering dreams. The night air had settled into a gentle calm, a serene hush that stretched across the narrow cobblestone street. The wind that had tossed dreams into chaos only a day before had dwindled to a soft whisper, and the floating orbs now glimmered steadily, their glow warm and comforting. Each orb pulsed with quiet life, no longer restless or erratic, their light blending into the golden hues of lanterns that lined the street in soft, rhythmic intervals. Liora walked slowly, savoring the tranquility, the subtle hum of the cobblestones beneath her feet, matching the gentle beat of her heart. She paused for a moment, letting her gaze drift over the orbs as they hovered just above the ground. Each one was a fragment of hope, a fleeting wish, a dream once abandoned, but now held safely in the gentle glow of the street. Liora felt a deep sense of awe and responsibility. The keeper had guided her through restless nights, through scattered and wandering dreams, and now the street itself seemed to invite her to step fully into her role. She realized that she was no longer merely a visitor, a witness, or a guide by chance. She had become the guardian of this luminous lane, entrusted with the delicate task of tending to dreams, nurturing their fragile light, and returning them to hearts that might need them most. The keeper stood beside her, his presence steady and calming, the soft folds of his robe shimmering faintly in the lantern light. He watched her with gentle pride, his deep eyes reflecting the glow of the floating orbs. "You have grown," he said softly, his voice blending with the hum of the street. "You have learned to see, to touch, and to guide. More than that, you have learned to care. And caring, Liora, is what sustains the dreams, what protects them, what allows them to flourish." Liora nodded, her chest swelling with quiet pride. She had come to understand the profound truth of the keeper's words. Attention and empathy were not passive acts, but active forces that could restore hope even in the most fragile of wishes. She lifted her hand, toward a drifting silver orb, its light soft and steady. As her fingers brushed its surface, she felt the warmth of the memory. It carried a small child's wish to be brave, to explore, to embrace life with curiosity. She imagined that child smiling, courage ignited, and the orb pulsed brightly in response, as if acknowledging her presence and the care she extended. "You are ready," the keeper said, his tone quiet yet firm. "The street has chosen you as its guardian. These dreams will continue to wander, restless at times, fragile at others, but they will respond to your attention, to your patience, and to your willingness to nurture. You must walk this path with intention, allowing yourself to feel the heartbeat of each dream, to honor its story, and to guide it back to the hearts that need it." Liora took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility settle gently on her shoulders. She understood that this role was not about power or control, it was about presence, patience, and care. The street was alive, yes, but it was her attention, her quiet willingness to be present, that allowed the dreams to find balance, to regain light, to drift with purpose rather than aimless wandering. She began to walk along the cobblestones, her movements slow and deliberate, hands hovering near the drifting orbs, sensing the warmth and life within them. Some orbs floated closer, responding instinctively to her presence, while others hovered hesitantly, unsure of the attention she offered. Liora knelt to meet the smallest and most fragile, imagining them tethered gently to her hands, their light steadying under her care. A pale amber orb quivered faintly, carrying the memory of a musician who had once stopped singing. Liora imagined the melody rising once more, flowing freely through quiet rooms and open hearts, and the orb glowed steadily, a testament to the restoration of hope. As she moved along the street, guiding the drifting orbs with quiet intention, Liora noticed that the street itself seemed to respond to her care. The hum beneath her feet softened into a gentle rhythm. The lanterns above flickered in harmonious patterns, and shadows along the buildings danced gently in time with the light of the orbs. She realized that this was not simply a place where dreams lingered, it was a living ecosystem, a delicate balance maintained through attention, care, and gentle guidance. And she, as guardian, was now an integral part of its life, its heartbeat, its flow. A cluster of silver and lavender orbs hovered nearby, restless but curious. Liora approached them slowly, sensing their hesitation and uncertainty. These were dreams of journeys never taken, wishes left unspoken, and hopes that had faded beneath the weight of doubt. She knelt and extended her hands, offering quiet presence, patience, and gentle attention. Slowly, the orbs circled around her, their motion calming, their light intensifying, as if recognizing a safe haven in her presence. She imagined each dream fulfilled, each hope acknowledged, and felt the quiet joy of connection ripple through her chest. The keeper watched silently, a gentle smile playing on his lips. "You are learning the true essence of guardianship," he said. "It is not force nor magic alone, but understanding, patience, and care. Each dream, no matter how small or fragile, responds to these qualities. And in guiding them, you also guide yourself, learning the strength that comes from quiet attentiveness. Liora felt a profound resonance with his words. She realized that her gift, the ability to sense the heartbeat of dreams, to recognize their longing and fragility, was a rare and precious responsibility. Each orb she nurtured was more than a memory. It was a fragment of life, a whisper of hope, a spark of light that could illuminate paths long forgotten. She understood that guardianship was not merely about restoring dreams. It was about honoring the delicate threads that connected hope, memory, and human experience. A gentle breeze stirred the lanterns above, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and rain-soaked earth. Liora smiled softly as she felt the warmth of the drifting orbs against her skin, each one responding to her quiet presence. She imagined the dreams returning to those who had abandoned them. Two hearts ready to remember, two souls capable of cherishing the delicate light. The street hummed in gentle approval, the cobblestones glowing faintly underfoot. Her gift, her care. One particularly luminous orb, a deep violet tinged with silver, floated close, carrying the memory of a young artist who had stopped painting in fear of imperfection. Liora knelt beside it, extending her hands gently. She imagined the artist lifting a brush once more, free from doubt, filled with courage and joy. The orb pulsed brightly, circling her hands before drifting confidently down the street, as if embarking on its journey back to the heart it belonged to. Liora felt a quiet satisfaction, a profound sense of fulfillment, and a deep understanding of the transformative power of attention, empathy, and presence. She continued along the glowing cobblestones, guiding restless dreams and nurturing wandering hopes. Some orbs hovered near doorways, others drifted above rooftops, and some moved in gentle spirals along the walls of the buildings. Each one required her patience, her gentle focus, and her willingness to remain fully present. And each one responded, gradually finding steadiness, light, and purpose under her care. She realized that her role as guardian was not limited to any single night, nor to moments of calm. It was a continual commitment, a delicate stewardship of fragile, luminous hope. Hours passed unnoticed, the street alive with soft light and quiet energy. Liora felt herself attuned to the subtle movements of the orbs, to the gentle hum of the street beneath her feet, and to the faint rhythm of intention and care that governed this hidden world. The keeper walked beside her silently, offering guidance when necessary, but allowing her to fully embrace her role, to discover the depth of her gift, and to learn the profound responsibility of guardianship. At last, the street reached a moment of complete serenity. The lanterns flickered softly, casting gentle golden light across the cobblestones. The orbs floated gracefully, drifting slowly along their paths, luminous and serene. Liora stood in the center of the square, breathing deeply, her hands resting lightly at her sides. She gazed at the glowing spheres, each one a testament to hope restored, to dreams remembered, and to the delicate power of care and attention. The keeper approached, his expression calm and approving. "You have learned well, Liora," he said. "You have guided, nurtured, and restored. You have become the guardian the street sought, capable of tending to wandering dreams and returning them to hearts that need them. Remember always that attention, empathy, and patience are the true magic here. They are the threads that weave light into darkness, hope into despair, and joy into forgotten corners. Liora nodded, a warm smile touching her lips. She felt the quiet joy of fulfillment, the gentle satisfaction of having made a difference in ways both subtle and profound. She understood that guardianship was not about grand gestures or dramatic displays, but about steady presence, careful observation, and the willingness to care deeply, consistently, and without expectation. As dusk deepened, the street glowed in a soft, luminous embrace. Liora walked slowly along the cobblestones, her eyes reflecting the drifting orbs and the warm light of lanterns above. Tiny dreams floated around her, responding to her presence, carrying fragments of light and hope wherever they wandered. She lifted her hand to touch a small silver orb, smiling as it pulsed brightly under her gentle guidance. Each dream seemed to recognize her now, acknowledging her role, her care, and the quiet strength she had discovered within herself. The keeper lingered at the edge of the street, watching her with serene approval. Walk with attention, Liora. Listen to the whispers of the dreams. Tend to them, guide them, and protect them. And know that in doing so, you are not only guarding their light, but illuminating your own. Liora continued walking, feeling the gentle warmth of the orbs drifting around her, each one a reminder of the quiet, transformative magic of care, attention, and empathy. She realized that the street was no longer simply a hidden lane, it was a living testament to hope, a sanctuary for dreams, and a mirror reflecting the delicate power of presence. And so she walked, the glowing cobblestones beneath her feet, tiny orbs floating around her in luminous patterns, carrying fragments of light and hope wherever they wandered. The street hummed softly, shadows dancing gently in the lantern light, and Liora smiled, her heart filled with the quiet, enduring joy of guardianship. She knew that the street would always be alive with wandering dreams, that restless hopes would continue to drift along its path, and that her role as guardian would never end. But she also knew that she was ready to nurture, to guide, to restore, ready to tether fragile hopes with courage and care, ready to honor the luminous fragments of human longing and joy. The street, the keeper, and the drifting orbs had shown her the beauty and responsibility of attention, and she embraced it fully, walking forward with a gentle heart and steady purpose. And as she moved along the glowing cobblestones, the drifting dreams surrounding her, Liora felt the true magic of the hidden street, the power to illuminate even the smallest hopes, to nurture wandering dreams, and to bring light to hearts in need. And in that light, she herself shone a guardian, a guide, and a keeper of hope, walking gracefully along the twilight lane where dreams wandered freely, safely, and luminously under her care. As the story fades and the night deepens, the street glows softly under the weight of dreams now at rest. Liora walks slowly through the twilight, her steps gentle, her heart calm. The drifting lights follow her, like stars finding their way home. And as you drift into sleep, may your dreams wander gently to safe, peaceful and full of light. Thank you for joining me tonight, here on Whispers of the Night. If you enjoyed this journey, remember to subscribe and return tomorrow for another whispered story beneath the stars. Good night and sweet dreams.